You're out and about and on your way to meet your friend. When you arrive at the destination, you look around and see your friend isn't there yet. When you check your phone and see that they said to hang tight and they'll be there soon, you're not really sure what to do. You're now out alone in public with nothing to do but stand and wait. So what's the first thing you do? For most of us, we take out our phones and it instantly eases the anxiety. If you've ever found yourself in this situation, or in any situation where you feel uncomfortable where you are and turn to your phone, you may be suffering from space fever. Space fever is a phenomenon recently reported in a Huffington Post article in August of this year, but was predicted by Guru Yogi Bhajan in 1995. He stated that space fever is a disease in which you cannot be comfortable in the space you're in. It happens to humanity when progress is faster than technically imaginable. Portable technology like iPhones encourages this phenomenon. Anytime someone feels awkward or uncomfortable, they can pull out their phone to occupy their mind with something else and take themselves out of the situation. Rather than connect with the world around us, we prefer the comfort of our fingers scrolling across a touchscreen.
So how did we become so reliant on our technology to comfort us? This is where the operant conditioning model of addiction comes in. Operant conditioning is when someone's behavior is changed due to previous actions and the consequences that come. According to this view, how we consume our media progresses in 4 phases: initiation, transition to ongoing use, addiction, and behavior change. The initiation phase is when we experience our overuse of a medium because of its rewarding or pleasurable effects, much like a drug. Once we get rewarded, we are more likely to do it again and again. From here, we transition into ongoing usage, where we continue to use the medium to get that same rewarding feeling. Now, usage is habitual, a tolerance is built, and withdrawal symptoms can occur. The act of consuming the medium is now more pleasurable than the content of the medium itself. Now the addiction phase sets in. We are reliant on the medium, and we can be triggered to use it via internal and external cues, some as simple as just seeing your phone and wanting to go through it. There's a feeling of needing that device in order to be satisfied, even if your device is no longer as satisfying as it once was. This is where the behavioral changes comes in, and you no longer have control over your use. So how do you kick the drug known as technology? Well, the only true effective way is to completely stay away from it. But let's face it, that's not going to happen.
Space fever is an important topic to study because of how relevant it is in our lives. The feeling of not knowing what to do in a situation and needing our phones to occupy us is a growing phenomenon in our technology-based society. Mood management theory, first proposed in 1988 by behavioral scientist Dolph Zillman, can explain why space fever is such a growing trend. The theory, a landmark in behavioral psychology, posits that we are constantly selecting specific information in order to regulate our psychological states. While we are in the process of selecting information to keep, we're not necessarily aware of the process and what we're filtering out. Finally, Zillman adds that the theory is based on the hedonic principle of maximizing pleasure. We're sorting stimuli to maximize good moods and minimize bad moods. A problem with this theory is that it makes a pretty broad generalization about how we process information. Is it really the case that all we're doing is subconsciously trying to maximize pleasure? A hypothesis about mood management theory that could be used in a study about space fever might propose: if someone is not allowed to use their smartphone in awkward situations, they will experience prolonged emotional discomfort.
The need for technological stimuli causes us to be constantly glued to our phones when we could be doing something else. The displacement hypothesis has been developed over the course of the last 50 years and has been tested in multiple studies. It states that one activity displaces another, meaning there's a possibility that other activities are being crowded out by technology, and in our particular case, smartphone use. The hypothesis has a lot of evidence in its favor as well as opposition. What researchers have had trouble on is indicating whether or not the displaced activities are more important to the subjects than the media usage. A hypothesis based on displacement could be used in a study about space fever might say, if people stop using their smartphones while they're experiencing awkwardness, then they will be more interactive with their environment.
When it comes to space fever, mood management theory differs from the displacement hypothesis in that it deals with our subconscious desires to feel comfortable, whereas the displacement hypothesis is the physical act of looking at our phone to displace idleness.